I'm not sure, but she always recommends a great stick and has me not go away from my norm.
She says she has something special for you, but I don't know.
Right.
That's that language that you and Mina talk.
Right.
The crazy part about it is that our guest, I've now deemed him as the relationship guru. I have no clue as to what he's doing backstage, but I wish everybody could really see him backstage right now. He's an avid cigar smoker, and unfortunately, Jay, you did not invite him to the party tonight.
No, he's at the party. What are you talking about? He's invited. He's here.
He's invited.
That'd be great.
From his home, virtually.
Yeah, right.
While you here with all those selection of cigars.
Right. He better smoke. He better smoke. That's his house.
Man,
that's his castle.
That's messed up.
He can smoke in his castle.
I feel like he was being nicer to you earlier than he was me, so that's what he get.
That's
his trick and his treat.
He
not treating me nicer.
In his castle.
He acted like I was gonna lean on him earlier.
I don't know. You was trying to lean on me before we.
Josh, help us out, relationship guru. Please help us out.
Y'all already getting it going.
And I told her, you're not going to talk to me like you talk to everybody
That's
else.
not what he said. Josh,
that's what he said.
Josh, you didn't say that.
I did.
Josh,
he said it
you see what he did today?
Say it again.
Yes, I want you to see what he did.
By AJ Fernandez.
And then this.
Buffalo Trace.
Like, but who goes to the liquor store and gets this? Who does this, Josh?
The gallon of Eagle Rare.
Man,
it's a gallon of Eagle Rare.
This is what I live with.
It's a gallon of Eagle Rare. John,
and you wouldn't have it no other way.
How you doing, my brother?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to end off my week like this. We're getting ready to go into the weekend.
Yes.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes.
Crazy week, but we made it.
But you know what? We on this side of the week, so that's a blessing, right?
Absolutely.
That's a blessing. You know, honestly, Jay, and you know, I am, as you tell everybody, super thorough, right? Can I tell you that this week I have not been super thorough, and Josh really has kept me on my toes?
Well, he's supposed to.
You're supposed to have my back. You're supposed to tell the people, babe, you know, she been busy. She did a great soft launch. You're supposed to have my back. Like, what is happening?
You said he kept you on your toes, and I said he was supposed to. We friends. We a family. He kept you on your toes. That's it. Simple. No, but we had Josh. It was a good week.
The energy is addictive.
Yeah, no, it was a good week. She did a soft opening for a good friend of ours in Silver Spring, Maryland, restaurant called the Angry Jerk.
Woo! The best.
Congratulations.
Caribbean food.
Jamaican, Caribbean cuisine. The jerk wings were amazing. That's really all I eat. But they were amazing.
8223 Georgia Avenue.
Harry Jones, what up? I see you. It was a good time, man. It was a good time. A lot of family, and we love Black-owned businesses. You know,
yeah.
Nothing against nobody else's, but we love Black-owned businesses. So
absolutely,
that's why we're in a Black-owned business as we speak right now.
Okay.
You know, female
who's trying to take his Black-owned MCM bag and leave.
And look, and she got to take them bills that's in there. There's some bills. There's some bills in there. There's some bills in my book bag. And she can have the bag. You just got to take the bills.
Man.
So, like, you know, I was telling you that he really kept me on my toes this week because, you know, I'm usually super thorough on top of everything when it comes to our podcast. And when I tell you, I hadn't sent him a link. I didn't send him a link. I didn't send him the questions, what we were going to talk about or anything, which brings me to the first thing that I said I wanted us to talk about. You know, what is the importance in work-life balance? Because I did not have it this week.
Burnout.
Wow.
Burnout. See if I can think about an illustration. Back in the day, before there was lights, they used lanterns.
Okay.
And if you wouldn't be able to get a light if you didn't have any oil.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to, in order to produce, you had to be able to have oil. And I don't know if enough of us are balancing our lives. And matter of fact, let me just say this. I got a quote. I have a quote because I wrote it down. And so I want to make sure I say it right. Balance isn't better, or is not better management. Balance is better boundaries.
Okay. Gotcha.
Balance means making choices that you enjoy.
Gotcha.
So you give yourself the time to enjoy what you're doing because you're not necessarily saying this is this and this is that. It's I want to enjoy what I'm doing, but I also want to enjoy who I'm doing it for. So if the person that I'm doing it for is all they doing is complaining about what I'm doing instead of pushing me, it's because there's an imbalance. So your wife or your girl or your husband, if all you ever talk about is your work, you might have a problem, and this is me included. You might have a problem with life-work balance, which you can't speak about anything outside of your work. And that's hard for people who are passionate, who are entrepreneurs, who are creatives, that their work consumes them. That's the hardest thing, because it's like, man, I want to talk to you, but my work is not the sum total of everything that I am, even if life coaching, preaching, pastoring is all of that I think that I am. No, to my wife, I'm also a father. To my wife, I'm also a lover. To my wife, I'm also someone that she's doing life with. So she'll always want to hear about Josh. And so right now I'm even getting convicted as I'm talking about that. So
Right.
yeah, so it's just the if you another quote is that if you the key is not prioritizing your schedule, the key is scheduling your priorities. So what's important? That's the question you got to ask. What's important? Is chasing the bag more important than chasing or having quality time with my wife or my children? Now you have to do the balancing act. Now you have to put it on the scale. If you're talking about that, what is more important? The schedule or the thing you deem as important, which is family, kids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So let me ask you a question.
You also have to put you first.
Josh, what happens when you are locked in? And normally, if we do business, we tend to we work harder for ourselves than we do, a 9-to-5 or work for somebody else, right?
Right.
And if we work for ourselves, there's probably no paid time off. There's no sick leave.
Right.
If you don't make it happen, you don't necessarily get paid, especially in the beginning. And what do you say? How do you maneuver that? Because if you're not working, hustling, grinding, focused, then you can't necessarily take care of the wife, the kid, normal day-to-day life bills, because regardless of, spending quality time, whatever the case may be, there's still responsibilities that have to be met, So you are right about the balance, but what do you really say to that? Because I kind of feel like, and I feel, I don't want to overtalk you, I feel like, so we didn't have this problem, but a lot of times, let's just say hypothetically, it's not Cassandra. A young lady sees me out. I like the way Jay moved. He seemed like he worked hard. He's a gentleman, takes good care of his kids, whatever the case may be.
Right.
He's not lazy. That's the things that are attractive to her.
Those are the things that I was attracted to.
Right, but because you're in the business, that's not an issue that we have, because you understand the business. But a lot of times, if somebody works a 9-to-5, we work for ourselves. They don't necessarily understand the plight of the person who doesn't have a regular 9 to 5, and the things that attract you to that person, no matter what, if it's a man, if it's a woman, whatever the case may be, then you kind of, a lot of times I see people want to have well, you work too hard. Well, this is what attracted you to me.
So you know what
you see what I'm saying? So
Right.
how do you move? How do you situate that?
Before you answer, Josh, I do want to say something, because I was listening to you as you started talking about work-life balance, right? And so I'm like, oh my God, I think me and Jay have an issue, because I was just thinking about how last week, we were on the West Coast, it's not, she's emergency, so yeah, it's not gonna do it. So we were just on West Coast. Mm-hmm. And like we were sitting at a nice hotel, laying out, and in the middle of it, I start talking about work. But I don't mean to, but so like, is it something wrong with me?
No, there isn't. It's the blessing of the burden.
Okay, gotcha.
It's the blessing to be able to do what you're passionate about, but it's the burden of living in the tension of the process of becoming. You have not yet become, but you're still in the process of becoming. And so while you're becoming, you want to talk about being. I'm not trying to confuse you. You want to talk about the end destination because it's the biggest thing in your life right now.
Okay.
This is the burden of the blessing, that if you don't sometimes take a step back from the goal, the ambition, the hustle, the grind, becoming, like it'll start to eat at you. So it'll start to eat at your relationship. So let's deal with that. It'll do two things that I talk about. It'll eat at you, and it'll eat at your relationship, because it'll eat at you because you'll feel the burden of the freedom that you have. You'll feel the burden of the freedom that you have to try to become, and you on it, and it'll start to just bombard you day in and day out. Like I got this to do. I got this interview, and I got to set this thing up because this is going to make sense to this, and this is going to make sense to this, and this is going to open up that door. And once that door connects me to this door, boom, I'm going to happen. No. The blessing is in the process. The blessing is in the process, because when you get to the destination, you'll have the sustainability, and you won't be burnt out by the time you get there. So, and then if you and then it'll eat at your relationship. It'll eat at your relationship because y'all are only growing in one direction. And when the season changes for y'all, which it will eventually do, because after you get to that venture, that goal, there's going to be another goal. So how are you guys feeding each other through this process?
Well, you know what? That's how we feed each other, right?
So that's
okay. And everybody, there's not a one shop stop all
right.
kind of.
Say everything.
So what works for you might not work for another couple.
Everything is different, right?
Yeah.
Everything is different, but that's the driving force. The driving force is the process. And we talk about it a lot. We talk about it a lot. That I'm sorry, I was looking at something that I want to talk about, because it seems like this is correct.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we just fact checking before we say what we want to say. But a lot of times.
So I apologize for looking down. I'm listening.
The process, we lose the process because of the phone. The phone takes away the process a lot of times. Process is what we're going through. All the moves we got to make, the sacrifice away from our family or away from our loved ones and that sort of thing. And we're doing what we got to do. Again, when we get to the goal, we celebrate. Then we want to go to the next goal. You know what I'm saying? We want to go to the next goal. but that's what we know. That's how we built. And most successful folks are built like that. It's the process. And each time they get to another level, they want to go to the next level. Like I don't really know anybody that gets to this level and be like, okay, I'm done. Right. You know what I mean? Like it just, I don't know that. But we don't have this personally. We don't have that issue because we are both in the process together. Like, a lot of times you miss that when one's the entrepreneur and one works a regular 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
Regular 9 to 5. Once they get home, work is back at work, and that's it. But the other person, whether it's the male or the female,
right?
The female, she's trying to bust her ass. And the dude is saying, yo, you don't got no time for me. And she looking like, what are you talking about? I'm successful. This is what you want. So you gotta speak, because we talk about that all the time. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
You have to speak on that. But it's that process. It's that entrepreneur process. And it is hard for somebody that has a regular job to deal with the entrepreneur, because they don't know the trials, tribulations, they don't know the dedication. They don't know what they have to do in order to get to that point, you know, because it's not easy. You just don't wake up and come out your mother and be a successful entrepreneur. That's not how that works.
Right. Yeah. What I want to say is, I know for us, that's our driving force. So if Jay's working, I'm not bothering him. I'm not calling him. I'm not, I'm like, okay, he's working and I'm carrying on with whatever it is I need to do. And or if it's something that, I'm in charge of the particular project, he's going to be there to support me, and he's going to do everything I need as a support system. But he's not really like, oh, you're not paying me attention. Like, that's not what we get. You know what I mean?
She had something that she had to handle for, again, soft opening. It was all on her. I was there to support. Listen, I'm going to be there. I'm going to look the part. I'm going to smell good. I'm going to look good. You feel me? I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. Hey, you need me? You okay? What you need? You need me to go? Okay. I got you.
Such a difficult clown.
What you need? You okay? You got it?
Such a clown.
And as soon as, look, I'm here.
And as soon as everything is set up, I'm going to get a cocktail.
In the words of Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I don't get fined. You know what I'm saying? I did what I needed to do.
He kept saying,
and now I'm gonna go get a cocktail.
Day.
And there's no, I don't. You have to express whatever it is that you need to express, but you can't hinder the process. You gotta support the process, because if you don't, somebody else will.
And
because that's all people want is support. Support me in my dream. I want to support you in your dream, and I should be your biggest cheerleader, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying?
Got pom-poms. Got pom-poms.
That's me shaking the pom-pom.
Pom-poms.
And that's it. And it goes so much further than you're not spending no time. Hey, I didn't talk to you today. Hey, you didn't answer the phone. Hey, I don't want to hear that.
I was telling Jay earlier, we were talking about a situation. I said, Jay, what I think it is that there's a difference in needing a person and depending on a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I need him for certain things. Like, I need him to be my peace. I need him for support. I need him for advice, Mm-hmm. I need him to help me figure this thing called life out. I do need those things, right?
Right.
But I don't have to depend on him to handle business.
Okay. I got you.
And honestly, sometimes he's not interested. He's like, look, I just want to show up, shake some hands, kiss some babies. Can you please handle the business? I don't want to talk about it. I want to think about it. Do what you got to do. Make the decisions. Tell me what it is. If I don't agree, I'm going to let you know I don't agree. We'll figure it out. But for real, just do you, right. I don't want to be bothered. So for us, I think maybe I'm like, Dad, is there something wrong with us? Because all we do is work and we talk about work. Like, do we not have work-life balance?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I love the process, and I know you've been trying to get something in, Josh.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, but it's the process, man. It's the process. It's the same way you look at your child and you watch your child kind of just grow in front of your eyes. It's that process. And you like, damn, I really did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the process,
right?
For me, and I love the process.
Right.
I love the process.
Right. This is the other thing I was thinking as I was just listening to you all when you asked the question. Is what we do, because we talk about work. I think what is more importantly is the recognition of the season. When you recognize, or when you in right covenant, right relationship with the right person, this is one of the key signs that they understand the season that you both are in, and they make the adjustment. So it's easy for y'all to speak about business and getting it and becoming entrepreneurs. And this is not a 9-to-5. This is a 24/7, 365. We always on it, right? Because both of you have recognized the season and understand what is needed in the season. I think people also find themselves in relationship that there's not only are you dealing with burnout, but now you coupled with the person that you were just talking about, the person who's not necessarily entrepreneur. And now I'm dealing with the burnout on the job, stressed out, hate my work environment. Now I'm also trying to speak to someone who keeps bringing work home. So now you guys are on two different wheels per se. You're on the wheel of entrepreneurship. He's on the wheel of 9-to-5, or vice versa. And now nobody can get on the same page, because you guys were never originally on the same page, because you guys are experiencing the same season just differently. Because nobody recognizes how you show up to the season. So that was just one thing I was saying. You guys are in the season of getting it grinding, and you guys are finding success in it because you guys are on the same time. That makes sense.
So I do have something to say, but I want us to pause so that you can talk about what just happened less than 30 minutes ago.
So while we were talking, she was looking down, and she checked a few different places and sources to check. So what we've gotten out of it is we lost a hip hop great today. They said Bismarck, he passed away
at 57
Actually,
years old.
Today he just he passed today.
Wow.
You know, because it was a little premature a few weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago.
A few weeks ago.
But he actually passed today at the age of 57. His brother Hasim actually confirmed it in a post saying the greatest to make beats of all times.
Wow.
Rest in peace to the legendary Bismarck. So, of course, rest in heaven.
Right.
Wow.
And that's tough, because he was so much of my childhood.
Yeah.
He was one of those artists that played a part in my childhood. Yeah. Which I was glad to be a part of, because I think that's why.
Couldn't have grown up in a better child.
Right. I'm the guy that's sitting in, that you're looking at the camera, that we hit it off when we got on this podcast.
Yeah.
That's why. I mean, some of that, was absorbed in me.
Wow.
So rest easy, and
he died from complications of diabetes. It's interesting because everybody always talks about his song "Just a Friend," right? So that was not my favorite song, and I actually got in trouble for my favorite song that he had. Do you remember his song "Sitting on the Toilet"?
No, I remember,
yes,
I remember.
No, he had the song "Sitting on the Toilet," waiting for my bowels to move. I got in so much trouble singing that song. No, my mother was like, "That is the nastiest thing. What are you listening to?"
Picking boogers was big for me.
So
yeah, major impact.
I didn't mean to take it away, but
no. He's a major impact, especially to our city. I mean, you can hear his influence on our city, and then especially when Mario remixed it
And it's
it was
interesting that you said, especially in our city, because he passed away today in Baltimore with his wife Tara holding his hand. And the nursing staff, they said, was there to support his family, telling them how strong he was through the fight. A rep from Biz tells us, we're grateful for the many calls and prayers of support that we have received on this difficult time. Biz created a legacy of artistry that will forever be celebrated by his industry peers and his beloved fans, whose lives he was able to touch through music, spanning over 35 years. So.
I think I'm gonna mix tonight. I think I'm gonna play some Biz and some Juice Crew, and I think I'm gonna touch on it. So
yeah,
touch on it
absolutely. Rest in peace.
Wow, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. What I was gonna say to you is one of the things going back to what we were talking about is that I've been thinking about, because some really amazing things have happened. We've been blessed with some really amazing conversations and really amazing points in our career. We're finally beginning to see. And as I was taking in everything that has happened and the 10 million phone calls that we were on a day, one of the things that I began to think about is that the season that we are in, and for me, I'm a firm believer that we are in a season of arrivals and departures. We're arriving at the place that we're supposed to be, and we're allowing everything else to depart from out of our lives.
Right.
So for us, it's not an issue of work-life balance, because we're arriving, and as we're arriving, we're making it plain, and so we're gliding through to where we're supposed to be.
Yeah. It just reminds me of when you get on a plane.
Right.
And we got on the plane together, but you're not going the full journey.
Exactly.
You're getting off, and when you get off the plane, you also take your bags with you.
Right. And think about it. Even when you get on that plane, sometimes it's a little turbulence as you go up.
Yeah. As far as the people, we were on the journey together, and we went through some turbulence. We went through some clear skies, and we made a stop, and you took your baggage off the plane.
Right.
And they opened up the door. They escorted you out. They shut the door, and we took off again. So some people, it's important to recognize that some people are not going to take the whole journey with you. Some things are seasonal. So yeah, that's
and the thing about that is I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the fact that you were on part of the ride. You know what I mean? You were at the stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You were at the connecting flight. You got off at the connect. I kept going, and that's okay. I'm not mad at anybody, and I'm still going to speak and smile. I may even pick up your phone call. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm not doing any of that. But you already know that, Josh. I'm not doing any of that
because
not picking it up.
We're not allowing anybody to change our direction.
That's why I'm not picking it up.
Process, any of that. You know what I'm saying? We wish everybody well. And what I'm not doing is living in that space anymore. And that was some research that I really have really worked on the last few weeks, that I'm not living in that space. I don't even want to revisit that, because we start to talk about that brings back a place. Your body gets familiar, mind gets familiar, and you stay in that space. Right now, all you need to do is really think about where you're going. You need to picture yourself there. You need to see yourself there, and you need to get those emotions going. So your body and mind is used to that. It's prepared. That's a new map. You know what I'm saying? It's a new map. It's a new navigation. You know what I'm saying? It's telling you where to go, and that's where you got to be. I don't want to live in, I don't want to live in that moment. I don't want to live in that. I don't even want to call you and talk about what happened back in the day or whatever the case may be, because that's gone, especially if it's not good, it's gone. It is gone.
It was not
Yeah.
good.
Huh?
It was not good.
No, I'm saying if it wasn't good, I don't want to live in that moment.
Yeah.
But I don't want to live in that moment. It's all forward, all positive energy.
Right.
You know, I mean, and it is at a point right now when me and Cass first met, she said, "What are some of your goals?" And I wanted to give back to the community. We do that. I wanted to be a voice for MS. We did that. We got to get back on that, but we did that. And I said, I want to get a residency in Vegas. And we are pretty much 99.9%
Praise God.
there to almost.
That's up today. That's up today.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
To be in Vegas on a regular basis. So
wow, that's big.
You never lose sight of that. You know what I'm saying? You never lose sight of it. And because you're not there at the current moment, you can't lose faith. Like just can't do. I mean, and you know, that's why I always mess with her. I say I could be a preacher because
my God, here we go.
Fear and faith can't live in the same place.
Here we go.
I can't say that I'm faithful.
Do
and
not
God love me
let
and I'm
him
good.
take you
And then
down
I'm scared.
rabbit hole.
I'm scared to jump. I'm telling you, I'm a slick preacher. Boy, I'm gonna be sharp and talking that talk. And because I've been through it.
Do you see this face?
Because I've been through it.
You see this face, right?
I've been through it.
He said he been through it. He the slickest to ever do it. That's what he said.
Nina, you coming to my church?
No, Nina's not. Don't play with her soul like that.
She's coming to the church.
Nina,
Charles coming?
No, none of us are coming. Well, I know I ain't coming.
And they said they drank wine.
That's God!
And we gonna
I won't be a part of this conversation.
Downstairs for happy hour. After church. After church.
Your soul is going somewhere, and I'm not having this conversation. So we're gonna continue on. Josh, give me some keys, and tell us. Like, you're married, you have a family. What is some keys to having a healthy relationship?
You said you're leaving on that note, huh?
I would say you need to figure out some major things. You need to figure out what do you both value? What do you value or not? What do you value individually? You can't say I want a spiritual home. I want a spiritual life. I want to be connected spiritually, and the other person just acquiesce and say, "Oh, I want that too." You need to be able to write your values down separately, bring them to the table, and see, because values are are kind of like the foundation to build in relationship. If you look at any corporation, you'll see their values. This is the way they operate. And from those values come their their SOP, standards of operations. Those are directly connected to value. Right. So your standard of operations in your standard of protocol, that's SOP, standard of protocol in your marriage or in your relationship is directly connected to what you value. And so one of the ways you keep your marriage healthy and on track, one of the ways this is not the way, this is one of many ways, is that you remind each other and you keep the values in front of each other. And the values can change. So I would say what makes a healthy relationship: values, communication, flexibility. And then you got to ask each other, what do you guys like? What do you like? It sounds so easy, but you got to know what the other person likes. Do you like holding hands? Are you freaky? Are you not? Like, you got to ask the questions, and you got to figure out what don't they like. Like, I need you to ask your spouse, yo, what makes your skin crawl?
Right.
What do you hate? I hate when you don't clean after yourself. I hate when you crack slick, when it's not appropriate. There's certain things that I don't like about you. Because and sometimes what we do in marriages, we just be like, man, you know what? I'll deal with it because I want the relationship. But the thing that ended up your flexibility could end up being your misery.
Right.
So the thing that you're flexible about, and you saying, man, yo, I know you said you don't like dogs, but I got a dog. The dog was in my house before you. The dog was in my bed. The dog was everything to me. The dog got me through some rough times. Matter of fact, the dog helped me get through the relationship that before you. And now you telling me you don't like dogs. So I'm going to put the dog out. I'm going to be flexible. And now I'm just using this as an example. The thing that you were flexible about is now frustrating you.
Right.
So it's not the big things. Everybody thinks marriage is about the big fusses, the big arguments. It's not about this. It's about the small foxes. It's about the little things that you do. Like when you wake up in the morning and you loud, when you first thing in the morning when you wake up and you just the loudest person in the house. You shower, slamming doors. You like, it's the little things. You don't pick up your drawers off the floor.
Right.
It's the you pick your teeth like this and you flick something out your teeth. It's the little things. It's not the big things. It's the little things that frustrates it. So be mindful of those. That's what I think.
Well, and I think that you kind of hit something on the head. It is, you don't know what you don't know. So you have to have those conversations, because we talk about that all the time. I can't be upset with you for something that you do not know. I just can't be. Can't expect you just to know what I like, what I don't like. You know what I mean? So we got to have those conversations. And you hit on something else as well. It's really not about the things you love. It's not about the things you love. It's the things that you can't stand. If you can take the things that you can't stand.
You mean like when I was going to fight you in the car today earlier?
Something.
When you decided to do what you did when we came from getting our TSA proof.
No, listen.
Because I can't stand it.
Listen, I was going to fight you. Unfortunately, as I've gotten older, I passed gas.
Okay. Nobody needed to know what
I'm
it
sorry.
was, Jay.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
If that's
I
what, if
you
and listen,
of a dog.
Look, I've got a lot of great qualities. If you can't take that, I'm sorry. And I'm gonna lift my leg up because I wanted to get out
and scoot over towards you.
I wanted to get out. I don't want to.
Josh like this.
I don't want to be stuck in my pants.
Yeah.
He's gonna lock the window before he did, because I wanted.
I don't want to be ending crazy, but we was on a business call, so she couldn't say nothing.
I couldn't say nothing. When I say I wanted to fight, I was like, oh my God. I don't want to talk because it's coming.
She couldn't roll the windows down because we were on a call. And
oh my gosh. One of the other things I would say is transparency. Transparency leads to clarity. If you're not transparent, if you holding stuff, if you're not able to, so this is a whole trust issue, right? If I don't trust you enough to be transparent with you, I'm probably not going to divulge certain information about my vulnerability.
Right.
So if I can be transparent with you, so then the other question is, are you creating a safe space for your spouse? Are you? So transparency leads to clarity. When I'm clear, I can properly diagnose, dissect, get to, because I think a lot of us in marriage, sometimes I'm gonna deal with this probably later on, but we be just real surface. Everything just real surface, but I ain't get with you to be surface. I get I committed to you so we could really do this thing called life together. So I'm gonna need a little bit more out of you So I gotta make sure that I create a safe environment so you can be, vulnerable, and I can show you that you're valuable. So yeah, that was the other thing. But yeah.
But
No, I thought you had something. That's why I turned to you.
no, he said this thing called life. It made me think of Prince song.
Oh God.
Let's go crazy.
So
That's what I was
music is in him.
Right, the Let's Go Crazy.
So
The music is in you.
Josh.
It really is.
All the time. Even musical old school TV. Okay. Everything in life is related to something that Fred Sanford said.
Or Dave Chappelle.
Genius. Both of them.
Something that happened on Three's Company. Something that happened on Dukes of Hazzard.
I didn't watch Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, you like comedic movies? You like comedies and movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about stand.
But like in Dukes of Hazzard, because it was a big ass Confederate flag on the top of their Challenger, and I didn't know what it was as a kid. I didn't know. Nobody told me that this was, what this flag stood for. I didn't learn that till I got older.
So, what I was going to ask you was what, and so I'm going to tell you my definition because it's probably different than what you think. So I was going to ask you, what is the importance of intimacy or how do you define intimacy in a relationship? And I will tell you because I actually wrote it down. But, for me, intimacy is not just, about sex. It's to be emotionally present. It comes down to trusting that the person that you love can catch you when you're falling and support you in your best times and in your worst. Because I think so many times when people speak of intimacy, they speak of it as if intimacy is only about the sex part. But before you get to...
That's a big part.
Before you get to
that's a big part.
Before you get to the procreation, you have to be intimate with the person's soul.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Intimacy, I agree. I don't think I can say it any better than you just said it. I absolutely believe that intimacy is beyond sex. I think intimacy is journeying through life with each other and being able to get through the ups and downs. Because intimacy is not just built, like you said, physically. Intimacy is built emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, intellectually. Like all of these things help us to experience intimacy. Now, I will say intimacy is different between men and women. I do think intimacy is different between men and women. I think this is how I think about intimacy. I think how can I say it? I think that when I was just talking to my wife about this maybe an hour ago, that men experience closeness, which is intimacy. It is the closeness. It is the connection between spirits. Your soul, my soul. That's intimacy to me. Men experience intimacy after sex or closeness. I'll use the word close. We are closer to our spouse. We are closer to our woman after we have sex. Okay, I'll give you an example. If you don't give it up to your man before, let it be a couple of days. I don't know what's normal for y'all, but let it be a while. And he's gonna be like a kid. He's gonna be like temper tantrum. He's gonna be just a little bit more aggressive. But after y'all are intimate or have sex, baby, let me take out the trash. He buying you flowers. It's just we become closer. Our closeness usually happens after we have sex. Now, women want to be close, want to experience, want to be close before they have sex. So we experience it after. We become close after. Y'all need to experience it before y'all have sex. And that's a problem, and that causes a lot of frustration because men and women need to find the middle of how you can speak your spouse's language. You get what I'm saying? So if men need to experience it before, like, or if men experience it after we have sex, you get what I'm saying? That men experience intimacy, or we become more intimate, we become more open, we become more vulnerable after we have sex. Women need vulnerability before they have sex because women are emotions. See, I'm gonna try to break this down through an illustration. There isn't a button on a woman you can push like that'll make her be more intimate with you. Their buttons are not physical, their buttons are internal, and it's through an emotion. So you have to do something emotionally to connect with a woman before she wants to be sexually available to you. If that makes any sense. But that's my spiel on intimacy, and I was just dealing with that with my wife today. Like, that's kind of how we're figuring out this process of, yo, Josh, you're a little bit closer after I give you some, and yo, you're a little colder before if you don't give me none, and on the vice versa. Like, I need you to be emotionally available. I need you to be a little warmer. So that's just my thought on it.
You looking at the notes?
No, I wasn't. I was just looking to see what I had next to ask.
Right.
So, but I didn't know if you had anything.
No, you go
to say.
Notes.
You know what? So I'm gonna stop right here because something just hit me. I did look at the notes because I wanted to see what was the next thing I wanted to talk about. And we're almost. Can you believe it's 8:47? So we're almost at the end of our hour. And actually tonight, I actually really have to jump off because I have an IG live at 9 o'clock.
13 minutes.
Yeah, at 9 o'clock. So I have to jump off.
We can hit it and quit it.
On top. So before I asked you the top rules in communication with your on how to communicate with your partner, something just hit me. And now I'm curious to know the answer to this. We were the other night we were out and someone asked Jay, how did you know she was the one? And Jay never answered. So now I'm curious. How did you know?
I told no, I did. I actually
said
no. I said I didn't know. Because I didn't know, and it grew to that. That came with. See, for me, I felt like it was the opposite from you because I needed support. I need you to cheerlead. I need you to have my back. I need you to be my support system. And really, if you are or you're not, I'm still going to get it done. But for me, that's what I like. That's what I need. That's what drew me closer to her because I knew that she really cared for me unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that it was not about the fact that I was a dude that was, that spun records and was popular. It wasn't that for her. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and I've been in a place where, regardless of what I done, this person did not like the fact that I was well loved and respected in the streets, in the industry, and got so much love. Mm-hmm. They did not respect that. So what she provided was something that I needed and I didn't have. Wow. So that's where that grew close. I didn't know in the beginning. We were working, and that was what it was. Right. And as time went on, that's what happened, and we had open dialogue about everything. I'm not a liar. She knows that, and we have open dialogue And that's what grew me close. You know what I'm saying? So
No, I feel you.
I didn't go that far in that conversation that she's
Right.
talking about from the other night. But
Right.
I told them that originally I did not know. You know,
That's honest.
I didn't know. You know, and that's when things happen naturally. I feel like they are the best way. You know, when things happen
Organically.
naturally and not forced. You know what I mean?
Organic.
Not for no other reason but the fact that, you know, this was my best friend. And this was, you know, I hate to use that word, but she was my, you know what I mean? Like she was that. And that's where that came from. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that
was a beautiful answer.
Right. That's the best that I can answer.
Josh, what are the
Hold
5?
your tears.
I'm not crying at all.
That boy, he on the roll.
I'm not crying. There have been moments that he's made me, that his responses have made me cry, but I'm not crying. Josh, what?
Not at this moment.
Yeah, not at this moment. What are the 5 key points that every relationship should deal with as far as perfecting communication in their relationship?
Okay.
And we're gonna let you go after the 5.
Okay, here it is. I'm gonna do it quick. Number 1 is get clarity quickly. Don't let it fester. Don't take too long to deal with that issue. Get clarity quickly. Don't hold the grudge thinking it's going to get better with time. Get clarity quickly. Number 2 is get rid of cliche conversation. Okay, what you said? How you doing? I'm all right. Oh, I'm good. No, like get rid of the cliche, because sometimes we deal with cliche when we're in business, when we see people. I don't know about y'all, but in church, we say stuff like, how you doing? I'm blessed. Now, you know, you don't feel blessed and you just saying a cliche. I think sometimes we do that in marriage. I think sometimes we do that in relationships. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm fine. You ain't fine. You saying it, and the reason you saying it is because it's safe communication. And safe communication is superficial communication. So again, get clarity quickly. Get rid of cliches. Watch out for your opinions. Sometimes, yeah. I said, watch out for your opinions, because sometimes your opinions are biased in something that you are in an internal feeling you have not yet to express. So you say an opinion that makes sense. So sometimes you say something that he ain't asked you about. I guess that's why you said, but that's why it's opinion. But
no, I was going to say that
opinions are risky. They're risky because they're a part of communication, because they're telling you how I think. And it could incite an argument because I didn't ask you. You get what I'm saying? So it's risky.
I agree with that.
You can give your opinion. You are not a docile woman. You are not a docile man. You're not a punk man. You can give your opinion. Just know sometimes your opinion is not warranted and it's risky.
And I agree with that. We spoke about that, maybe about a month ago, and just dealing with other issues of family, that sort of thing. I'm not going to give my opinion because it was not asked for. And if you ask for it, then I'll give you my opinion.
Right.
So let's be clear, because
let's be clear. That one is get clarity quickly.
Right.
And then feelings. You need to do this exercise 2 to 3 times a week. If you can do it every day, that's good. You need to ask each other, how y'all, give me 2 words to tell me how you guys are feeling, to tell each other how you guys are feeling. Like today, and be transparent about it. Today, I'm not feeling so hot. I'm not feeling so motivated. Actually, I am feeling a little this. Actually, I'm feeling kind of good today, because this allows you and your partner to get in your space and become the answer, or to make an adjustment to a negative or positive feeling. So you need to do that at least 2 to 3 times a week or every day. Tell your partner 2 or 3 things about how you feel. 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, 1 at night, and then needs. We already talked about that. I need your support. I need your help. What do you need? I think if you get transparent, if you get clarity quickly, and if you deal with the facts, I didn't say that. Now I'm going over my. You need to also deal with the facts. Is this an assumption or is this a fact? Get out of the assumptions. Assumptions is a dangerous landmine waiting for a bomb to explode in your conversation. Get with the facts. Get with the facts. Get out of cliche. Stop dealing with the surface stuff. Try if you can help it. Stop giving an opinion on something that doesn't need an opinion. Deal with the feelings and deal with the needs. If you can do those things, that'll give you a firm foundation to build on. And if you add a God component in your relationship, that's always going to be the thing.
So
Get God in the relationship.
I don't believe that a relationship can work unless you have a God component in it.
Some people believe it, and some people believe it and don't apply it.
Gotcha.
So that's my thing. But get clarity quickly. That's the major thing. Get clarity quickly.
Josh, I want to tell you thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You know what I mean? We love you. We appreciate you. And we appreciate the Mina Cigar Lounge for allowing us to partake of this good stick and have
was that illegal?
Basically on
he asked if that was illegal, Jeff.
No, this is not illegal. This is an H. Upman. It's an H.A. Fernandez cigar.
And guess who comes in just as we're ending? I just want you to see who
I just texted him too.
Right.
I just texted him too.
Right.
Just as we finish, that's who decides to come in.
175th anniversary. It's a great stick. I'm actually enjoying it. I mean, I didn't even have to relight it. It's a great stick. And again, I found this gallon of Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace. I couldn't.
So I'm gonna say goodnight to you, Josh, because I have to jump on.
Right, she got to jump on.
I'm still talking.
No,
Josh, thank you for everything, Josh. We appreciate you as always.
I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Mina Cigar Lounge. Mina actually stepped out, but thank you. We're here with our family. If you are in the DMV area, please come to Mina Cigar Lounge.
Is that Nina or Mina?
Mina. M-I-N-A.
Amazing cigar selection.
Yes, an amazing human being.
Well, So now, hey Josh, we thank you.
I appreciate
you. Like we always say, man, keep all negative energy out your circle because you pick up the traits of the people around you. And please enjoy the weekend, my brother. Tell somebody you love them. We just, like I said, just lost a hip hop pioneer. So, please tell everybody you love them. Josh, be safe. And we'll probably call you once she's done. She's done with our IG live. All right.
All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all having me. This was amazing.
All right.
Take care. Hey.